What's going on, fellas? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Tyler Davis, and today we're going to take a look at week 5, the best values of the entire slate. So normally I like to go, under that 6K range. I try to find some of the cheapest values possible, 4K, 5K, even sometimes under 4K, 3,500 for some receivers. So we're looking for the best values possible in this video. So if you do enjoy this, make sure you are subscribed. If you can hit that bell, you'll be notified anytime I go live or I drop tips and content here on the channel. And if you can hit this video with a like, I really appreciate it so much. All right, let's jump into it. I have a decent amount of values at each position. Still a little bit early in the week, so some injury stuff could shake out. We got a few at quarterback, few at running back, good amount at receiver, and a decent amount at tight end. So at the quarterback position, I like to stay under like a 6K range. Like I said, I did want to talk about Justin Herbert, who I think is a good price tag at 6,100. It's a little bit right there at that threshold that tough to call that a value per se, but 6,100 is a good price tag for Herbert here. I know Washington's defense is okay, but the Chargers looking for a bounce back spot here after that game against the Giants. I like Herbert at 6,100. All right, let's get to some of these values. So we got a few here in this mid-range that I like. Kyler Murray, 5,900. Daniel Jones, 5,800. I definitely prefer Daniel Jones here against the Raiders. Raiders defense has just not been good. I know they got some ballers back there. They got Max Crosby, but their defense has been bad. We saw what Marcus Mariota did them a few weeks ago. Daniel Jones, I think, can have the same output here, and Daniel Jones has been absolutely phenomenal this season. A little bit of a tough game last week against the Rams, but still threw for 262 yards, right? So the touchdown output wasn't there. The rushing output wasn't really there, but we know Daniel Jones has that in his range of outcomes with Shane Steichen as the coach. It's really opened him up. Nice matchup against the Raiders. Kyler Murray, look, I think they're going to dominate the Titans. They're probably going to run the ball a lot, but, James Conner's out, and now it looks like Trey Benson's going to be out. So they might have to go a little bit more to the pass game here. I mean, they're going to rely on DeMarcado back there, maybe Michael Carter at running back. Tough to really predict. Maybe that allows Kyler Murray to use his legs a little bit more. He's had over 30 yards rushing in all 4 games this season, got over 40 the last game. So maybe you got to rely on Kyler Murray's legs a little bit more with no Connor, with no Benson. And the passing output hasn't been there yet, but we know against the Titans it is possible. So I don't mind Kyler Murray. Like I said, I think I prefer Daniel Jones there. And you got Justin Fields here against the Cowboys. Cowboys defense may be the worst in the entire league. And what a game he had against the Dolphins here did Justin Fields on Monday Night Football. 226 yards passing, 81 yards rushing, and a touchdown. That's what we want to see, is that rushing upside from Justin Fields. I easily think he can do that here against the Cowboys. 5,600 for probably the most athletic quarterback in the NFL when it comes to running the ball. I think is in a great spot there. Jackson Dart, if he is healthy, it's a little bit tough on who to stack him with now that Malik Neighbors is out. But I think Jackson Dart as a standalone play at quarterback here is really cheap at only 5,300. And what we love, of course, with our quarterbacks is that rushing ability, that rushing upside. 10 carries, 54 yards, and a touchdown on the ground. Had a touchdown through the air. So if he's fully healthy, Brian Daboll plans to really, release this guy, make him have a big second half or, middle to second half of the season here. Love Jackson Dart against the Saints, too, on the road. Easy matchup. Probably the best matchup Dart's going to face here for a while. I think that's pretty much it for our quarterbacks here. Let me see if I wrote down anyone else. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's really, really thin. Like I said, I'm preferring Justin Fields or Jackson Dart. Those are my two kind of cheap value quarterbacks here this week for sure. This is a quick timeout to let you guys know that I've been a pro DFS player for over 5 years and have over $100,000 in career winnings. And now I'm giving away all my secrets, which you can check out at patreon.com/tdavisbrand. The link is also in the description below. It's going to give you a cheat sheet for every major slate of the NFL season. So Thursday Night Football, Sunday main slate, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, all the major slates, whether it be Showdown or the regular classic slates, you'll have access to my cheat sheet, as well as access to my private Discord where you can ask me anything fantasy football related. And I also have a NFL DFS ebook, How to Win at Daily Fantasy Football. It goes over every strategy you would want to win some cold hard cash this upcoming NFL season. We talk about things like bankroll management, contest selection, how to win GPPs, cash games, etc. So sign up for the free ebook down in the link in the description below. Let's go to the running back position. It's a little bit thin once again here at running back. I think Omari and Hampton, I know he's a little bit above that range, but 6,500 for Omari and Hampton. Najee Harris is gone. Omari and Hampton is the bell cow. Only 12 carries against the Giants because they were losing a lot of that game. 128 yards, 5 targets out of the backfield, a do-it-all back. He's going to have a monster season now with no Najee Harris. Amari Hampton should be like 8K, in my opinion. He should be priced at least 7,500 to 8K, and he's down here at 6,500. Unload Amari Hampton in all formats here. Great play. A couple of the guys too, Javonte Williams, 6,200. We mentioned the Cowboys and the Jets game. Cowboys offense, look, they lost CeeDee Lamb. They're kind of rotating all these receivers. They got Jake Ferguson, but they're going to run the ball a little bit more here. Javonte Williams, the pass game role has been pretty good, at least 3 targets in every single game. And we know he has that goal line role, which is so important. Already 4 touchdowns on the ground this season. Love Javonte Williams here. A game the Cowboys should probably win, and they should probably have the lead in the second half, which means they're going to hand the ball off to Javonte Williams much more. Cam Scatterbo, 6K. Price tag's creeped up a little bit here, higher than we'd like, but I still think in this game against the Saints, where they probably have a lead, they should win this game. They're going to hand the ball off to Scatterbo a bunch. They gave him 25 carries last week against the Chargers. The output wasn't great, 79 yards, 2 targets. If he falls in the end zone, though, he has a massive week. So that's what we want out of our, bell cow volume-based running back, and that's what we're getting right now from Cam Scatterbo. And then finally, I did want to mention Rachaad White down here at 4,700. It looks like Bucky Irvin might not play. So Rachaad White would be kind of that de facto bell cow. I know they have Sean Tucker, who will probably get some carries, but Rachaad White's passing game role is so good. 5 targets last week, splitting time with Bucky Irvin. If he even gets 10 to 15 carries plus 5 targets, he's going to pay off his $4,700 salary. If Bucky Irvin is confirmed out, which it looks like that might be the case soon, Rachaad White would be an amazing value at 4,700. A couple other guys I just want to throw around here for you guys. Woody Marks here for the Texans. Look, the matchup usually is not good against the Ravens, but their defense hasn't been great, and Lamar Jackson looks like he's not going to play. So the Texans could theoretically win this game. They're starting to give him the load here over Nick Chubb. He had an outstanding game last week, and the passing game role for Woody Marks is phenomenal. And Woody Marks has always been a good pass catcher dating back to his days in college. So 5,400 for Woody Marks is a pretty good value there as well. And then the Cardinals situation, we have to monitor if Trey Benson is out. We got DeMarcado, we got Michael Carter. I'm kind of avoiding it. I don't love it. DeMarcado's not really a great runner. He's pretty good out of the backfield in the passing game, but it's a situation I'm avoiding, but it's something we need to monitor for sure. All right, let's go to the receiver position. We'll start in this mid-range-ish area, and I want to start with all these Chargers receivers. Quentin Johnson, 5,700. Keenan Allen, 5,600. Ladd McConkey, 5,500. They are all priced, and that's right in that tier, 57, 56, 5,500 here on DraftKings. All of them are in play here for the Chargers against the Commanders. This offense has been really good. I know it was a tough game against the Giants, but the first 3 weeks they looked phenomenal. And what is up with Ladd McConkey? He's kind of become the third receiver here for the Chargers. Just hasn't been very efficient. 6 targets last week is okay, but only 1 catch for 11 yards. Like, what is going on with Ladd McConkey? So for me right now, I'm on Quentin Johnson and I'm on Keenan Allen. Quentin Johnson is basically that alpha receiver on the outside, has big play potential every week. We've seen it pretty much every week this season, over 70 yards in all 4 games. 8 catches, 98 yards last week, and a touchdown. Then you got Keenan Allen, the real safe slot receiver there for the Chargers. Good rapport with Justin Herbert. So I'm looking at both of those guys as potential plays here in the price range. Really, really nice. Jalen Waddle may be my favorite play on this entire slate. Tyreek Hill is out of the equation. Now it's the Jalen Waddle show. 5,400 here for the Dolphins against the Panthers. Panthers defense has been bad. They gave up 42 points to the Patriots. I know some of it was defense and special team stuff, but 42 points against the Patriots. The Dolphins, I don't think they can get 42 points without Tyreek Hill, but they can definitely have a great offensive game here, and Jalen Waddle would be the main reason at only 5,400 for a number 1 receiver in an offense that can get the job done. Love him. Marvin Harrison, 5,400. Chris Olave, 5,200. Michael Pittman, 5,100. All 3 of these guys are in play for me. If I had to rank them, I'd probably go Olave, Pittman, then Harrison, but I like all 3 of these guys this week. All are in outstanding matchups, and all have been getting good volume, which we love from our mid-range type receivers. As we head down to some of the cheaper options here, I did want to talk about Darius Slayton at 4,300. I'm probably not paying the price tag on Wandale at 5,300. I'd be more interested in Slayton for that upside at 4,300. He's very risky, but you take out Malik Neighbors, and I think Slayton is very interesting at 4,300 there. Then you also have this Dallas Cowboys situation. CeeDee Lamb is out, so we've seen Jalen Tolbert and Kevontae Turpin kind of rotate in and out here. It's really tough to predict on who it's going to be. Tolbert looked good last week, 6 targets, 61 yards. Kevontae Turpin usually is that gadget type player. 3 catches, 30 yards. He gets a couple rushing carries. I think both these guys are in consideration here for the Cowboys at these cheap price tags. I definitely lean Tolbert a little bit more there for the upside. And then the only other guy I did want to mention is our guy Alec A.O. Manor here. 4,100 for a number one receiver is very cheap. I know it's a tough offense to love and to trust, but 4,100 for a number one receiver here, I think is always in play for the Titans. All right, let's go to the tight end position. Obviously, you have our studs at the top, McBride and Bowers and Ferguson every single week. Those are like the three main guys. I think Ferguson and Warren are fine. They're not necessarily considered values, but with the way they've been playing, man, it's hard not to want to pay those price tags. I think Ferguson should be, both these guys should be priced at like 5,500. And I think by the end of the season, Tyler Warren's going to be like a 5,500, 6K type tight end. So you're getting a discount on Ferguson and Warren there. I like both of them. As we go to a little bit more of that mid-range, I'm looking at Juwan Johnson here. I know it was his first like kind of bad game of the season there against the Bills, but that's a tough matchup on the road against the Bills. Here you get at home against the Giants defense, who we've seen be not good this year. I think there's a spot for Juwan Johnson to bounce back. Only 3,900 is a great price tag there. Zach Ertz, you get the return of Jaden Daniels, who only benefits Ertz. Ertz' first 2 weeks of the season was phenomenal with Jaden Daniels. Last 2 weeks, not as good with Marcus Mariota. You get Daniels back. I think that opens up Zach Ertz once again. Darren Waller, only had 3 catches, but 2 touchdowns. And I think with Tyreek Hill out of the equation, they're going to utilize Waller a little bit more. I think it's still a slow build as far as his snap count. It's going to take some weeks to get maybe a full workload, but he has that upside at 3,500, even on a limited snap count there. They need some playmakers. They need some weapons down there in Miami with no Tyreek Hill. Theo Johnson, 3,400. I think he can open up now more with no Malik Neighbors and Jackson Dart taking over. I think that'll help out Theo Johnson here in the passing game. He's not a bad punt play at 3,400. Chigakonkwo, same thing. He's kind of like tied with A.O. Manor as like the main guy here for Tennessee. So, you're getting basically a number one receiver out there for the Titans at only 3,300. Not a bad punt price either there. Let's see what else we have. The only one I wanted to mention is Oronde Gadsden. Once again, if Will Dissly was out, Gadsden's been getting more targets at only 2,700. We know he has upside there for sure. So that's it for the best values of week number 5. Make sure you check out all the videos on my channel, as well as the shorts and the TikToks at T Davis Playbook on all platforms. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please go ahead and give this video a like. I appreciate it so much, as well as subscribe to the channel here on YouTube so you can check out all the videos that I have to offer.